There's a lot of stupid stuff in my life that I wish I could go back and change or forget, but we have to also acknowledge that
Jared Lisek of Adventures with Purpose is charged with 2 counts of rape of a child from 1992 in Utah.
47-year-old Jared Lisek is being charged with the violation, a forcible act with a family member, a cousin in this case, who was aged either 9 or 10 back in 1992, and he was approximately 16 or 17 years old at the time of the act. Now, there are allegedly 2 events that occurred where he forced himself on to this cousin. One was in Utah and one was in Nevada. Uh, Being that the one occasion occurred in Nevada, they did have to drop that case, being that it's outside of their jurisdiction. Now, you may be asking, who is Jared Lisek and what is Adventures with Purpose? Great question.
YouTubers and scuba divers called Adventures with Purpose who travel the country helping desperate families.
More often than not, they say, you have done more for us in one day than anybody has done combined for us in the last, X number of, months, days, years.
So we'll scan both sides of this bridge.
For Jared Lisek, it started in 2018 as a hobby, clearing trash from waterways. Then they found cars and missing people. They've solved 16 cold cases and take them on for free.
Adventures of Purpose has solved national cases or unsolved cases such as Kylie Rodney of California, who was a missing teen that the police did a massive manhunt for and could not find her. And Adventures of Purpose, they got involved and were able to find her and her vehicle in bodies of water within an hour or a couple hours after starting their search. So these men had the ability to do a lot of things that some of the law enforcement were either lacking the resource or lacking the experience. Now, the only thing that can be seen that might be a hindrance on the prosecution of this particular case or alleged case that happened back in 1992 is that even though Utah currently has no statute of limitations, that did not change until 2013. In 2013, there was a statute of limitations that he already reached. But so in one of the Supreme Court decisions, Stogner versus California states the following: a statute of limitations cannot be extended to reopen the possibility of prosecution for a crime that was already outside the statute of limitations, which this particular case would be. So this would in essence state that being that it occurred prior to 2013, using that particular Supreme Court case and the fact that prior to 2013 there was a statute of limitations on these particular serious or violent crimes, I'm not sure how the prosecutor is going to be able to move forward with this particular case unless they're trying to set a precedent and then be able to reopen or open prior cases prior to 2013 that were not prosecuted due to the statute of limitations. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But Jared Lisek is trying to get this whole case dropped. Adventures of Purpose has done so much good. 16 plus cases solved, with just solar equipment and some swimming skills and diving skills. They've done so much. They've helped so many. But does that take away from what Jared did? And does that redeem him for everything that he has done? And it appears that there are some, just like the prosecutor, that are stating, regardless of the good that he has done, he still has to pay for what he did in this past, even though it is over 20 years ago. So the question is, can you redeem yourself? With all the good that he's done, does that erase what happened in the past? Or do you feel that in order to fully redeem yourself, you do need to go through the judicial system, and if there is some type of consequence, whether it is jail time or monetary, that you complete that, and then would the eyes of the people around you and me Should we accept him and say he is good? A redeeming period of you faced your consequences, you finished them, and you're doing so much good now. Are we allowed to do that and forgive and say that he is now considered quote unquote good? Or is it the fact that he was poison fruit so early on that there is no redeeming period because that is what his court was? Let me know your thoughts.